peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
To you. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Miriam Ogutu, and this is Good Morning Africa. I trust that you had a good weekend there, the 12th of April 2021. And before we get on the headlines this morning, I'd like to bring us up to date with the latest figures of COVID-19 and Kenya. This morning, the number of confirmed cases right now stands at 145,670, and the death toll is 2,348, and recovery so far is 99,095. Uganda, the number of cases is at 41,140 cases, and the death toll is 337 cases. Recoveries is 40,685 cases. And then we go to South Africa, the leading country in the continent right now. The number of confirmed cases in South Africa standing at 1,558,458, and the death toll is 53,322. Recoveries is 1,483,296, and the total figures in Africa this morning right now stands at 4,350,198 cases. The death toll so far that has been recorded in the continent is at 115,710, and recoveries stands at 3,883,073. And of course, these figures are subject to change as every country, they update their statistics as they record them in the different parts of the continent. So, but that is where we stand as of COVID-19 this morning. So joining me on the panel is Douglas Kirimi. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, and also to our crew at our headquarters, and also to our friends across the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where they're watching us from. Thank you for having me on the show, Miriam.
Nice to have you. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. And also the weather in Meru is very fine and everything is okay. But the people are condemning their governor for stealing COVID-19 money, and he also got COVID the other day.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about that before I get into my headlines? How much
I
did he
will.
steal? Allegedly.
It is a very contentious issue, Miriam, because the governor or the county government is being splashed on newspapers and is crying that he has COVID, and the people are dying. Poor people cannot access Medicare, and also whatever money that was sent by the national government to help mitigate the issues of COVID-19, the money has been stolen. It is in the newspapers. People are crying, Miriam.
Okay, all right. Very unfortunate, and I think that situation is just all over all our 47 counties there. So hopefully, something will be done. So let's just get into our headlines this morning. I'll just read them and then we'll look at which stories we shall focus on. And the main headline on the Daily Nation says, Ruto Raila pact faces hurdles in Mount Kenya. Consequences even before Deputy President William Ruto and ODM leader formalize a reported alliance. Leaders from the region are warning that such a deal would see the DP lose all the support he enjoys in the vote-rich area. And just beside that, a new school calendar to delay Form 1 selection this year. And then lending apps on the spot for flouting data privacy law. And then just up there says COVID, India stops export of key drug. Setback for Kenya's fight against COVID as India slaps export ban on antiviral drug remdesivir after a record spike in cases sent demand surging. Okay, and then we move on to the Standard newspaper. And my lover, my killer. That is the main headline there, saying a great poet once said, the near in blood, the nearer bloody. The scary killings being witnessed today among partners point to a bigger problem in society, yet the justice system grinds slowly amid suffering. The stories on page 6 and 7 of the Standard newspaper. And just up there, politics, why Uhuru can't afford to let go of Raila. And then inside, MCA's war with the governors, broke treasury, raids state farms when grass wasn't greener abroad. And then just down there, Tuju can't rule out a reunion with Ruto. It's interesting now. And then the anatomy of rampart wastage in schools and battle for supremacy hits Meru Airways. Okay, so now we will talk about that, Douglas. And then on the Star newspaper, the main headline, how broke farms got 25 billion Kenya shillings. Ketraco contracts, farms collapsed, forcing taxpayers to fork out extra cash in new deals. And then up there, who will be the next Chief Justice? And that is a conversation we will have at 11. And then suspects say they left slain NLC staffer alive at the scene. And then just down there, Ruto meets 23 governors over alliance talks. So that is what we have in our leading newspapers here as the headline. So let's just go to this story that has refused to go away. And I think we will start with the Standard just down there. Tuju can't rule out a reunion with Ruto. Jubilee Secretary General, who has been taking the battle to the DP, says it is all politics. It's just on BBI. He wants it another way. We want it another way. Will there be a reunion? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. The story is on page 10 and 11 of the Standard newspaper. Before I even get to the story, Douglas, that headline there, what do you make of it?
Miriam, at the end of the day, for William Ruto, if he is really cornered at the end of the day and he has nowhere to go, he needs to be able to negotiate something for himself. Remember, in politics, people need to see beyond emotions, and people need to see beyond what is being said. In politics, it is said, if you seek your interest, you are safe. If you don't seek your interest, you are serving someone's interest. So I think for William Ruto at this point, he would want to be able to camp at the camp of Raila Odinga if it promises him something bigger than nothing. It is something that he can be able to pick for himself, because if you look at Raila today, Raila cannot be able to be a deputy to anyone. He cannot become a prime minister. He would rather retire and go to his home and also be watching issues from home, being a statesman that he is today. And also for William Ruto, Miriam, at the end of the day, if these politicians suffocate him, because William Ruto has been running a very lonely journey for over time now. And William Ruto, we have never seen him, even the newspaper that is talking about him meeting governors and all that. We have never seen him really get in touch with the grassroots leaders who are governors or regional leaders like Kalonzo Musyoka or any other, Gideon Moi and others, trying to consolidate his way to power. But you remember, I have always said that the chessboard for political presidency, political endeavors of Raila Odinga is the others. The others can play a second fiddle on his presidency and also his ambition. But for William Ruto, he can be able to talk to Raila, but I don't think the presence of President Uhuru Kenyatta can be able to allow him politically to be able to be there and talk with Raila. Anything they are trying to do, they are just politician, Miriam. There is no enmity in politics. Politics is, they are politicians are bound by interest. They can have communication and talk. The Sunday Nation yesterday was having a conversation on President now planning to meet Raila Odinga over the same, because Raila seems to be cosy, or ODM seems to be cosy with the Deputy President William Ruto, and that cannot augur well for the President's legacy, especially the BBI. If Raila and the other, the Deputy President come together, it is not going to augur well for other people who have also coalesced around Raila Odinga possible presidency. So for them, it is a matter of gamble and taking risk, and that is politics, and it is about interest. I have not ruled out a possibility of Raila working with the President, Raila working with the Deputy President William Ruto. But Miriam, for me, I think the person that is going to take a second position is Deputy President William Ruto, because constitutionally he can never be a Deputy President. So maybe he seeks to become a Prime Minister in a Raila's presidency, and Raila cannot be able to work with Ruto to become anything small to William Ruto. Mm-hmm. Remember, it is Raila Odinga, who took William Ruto in 2007 and they formed ODM. They were together in ODM, and even that time, Raila was above William Ruto. And politically, the supporters of Deputy President William Ruto or those of Raila Odinga cannot allow their principles to be able to play a second fiddle to each other. Okay. So I think for me, it is all about politics. Maybe they are doing their own arrangements and also they are talking, but at the end of the day, it is about interest. So I think they are trying to secure their interest, and which is good for them. For Raila, I don't think he can be able to abandon President Uhuru Kenyatta and the BBI train to be able to follow William Ruto to nowhere. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. We're also joined by Musa Abdi. Now, Musa, Tuju can't rule out a reunion with Ruto. Jubilee Secretary General, who has been taking the battle to the DP, says it is all politics. It is just on BBI. He wants it another way. We want it another way. Will there be a reunion? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. That was Tuju's answer. And he's saying it's only on the BBI that we seem to disagree. Is he being honest, Douglas? I mean, Musa.
Miriam, thank you so much for having me on the show. Miriam, I've always spoken about Kenyan politics, Miriam, and it's only in Kenyan politics, political analysts even know more than what is happening in the political party. So sarcastic enough, and even they know more than party owners. Miriam, the situation we are in is very confusing, and what you are seeing, Miriam, is politics with emotions on the play. And when I see politics with emotions on the play, Miriam, people are trying to get back to what has been happening to them in the past and trying to forge for the future. Why am I saying this, Miriam? You've seen new alliances, though I doubt even their credibility, like One Kenya Alliance coming up and saying, you know, we are questing for presidency in this country. These are people whom, you know, the likes of Moses Wetangula a bit. Yes, they are old in politics, but as far as ballot issue is concerned, they are a bit maybe, you know, trying to be dynamic. And then here are the others who are trying to reincarnate the brotherhood of the first, Miriam, the darlings of the first. They are trying to remind themselves how they were together in Pentagon. And I'm speaking about Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto, Miriam. And in Kenyan politics, we've seen worse than the possible alliance between William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga, Miriam. We've seen Raila Amolo Odinga endorsing Kibaki, you know, unexpectedly in 2002, Miriam. And we've seen unimaginable, you know, coming out. Who expected Abdu Badida just to be position 5 in presidential candidate, defeating the likes of Mudavadi, Miriam, in politics. You know, the way Kenyan politics is really evolving is something very, 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 very unpredictable. Mm-hmm. But as far as the one of Tuju and, you know, the party, Jubilee Party, and the way they have said, you know, it's a possible alliance, maybe yes, maybe not. Miriam, I will say, when in politics, someone cannot say yes or no, the possibility of saying yes is definitely 100%, because if indeed the possibility of saying no is 100, then they could have said no. That is the nature of African politics. If something is no, then we don't have that tendency of hiding it, Miriam. And I will not be shocked, Miriam. In my political analysis, I've been following what is happening between Deputy President William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. Miriam, I'm not going to be shocked. It's only in Africa whereby even the corrupt is sanitized, Miriam, in just microseconds of their government service. It never started with William Ruto, neither shall it end with him, Miriam. We've seen a good number of, you know, the NYS scandal saga, a good number of them are in government still. I was not shocked to see Anne Waiguru being the governor. I was not shocked to see Ken Lusaka now being the speaker of this country, Miriam. So if indeed those escaped, those I would not say they were convicted, but allegations, Miriam, then I would not be shocked to see the mafia himself, the person who does not understand even Kenyan foreign policy, trying to realign with someone who helped to prevent war in Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique, Miriam. And so, and in politics, one thing people should know, in politics, the most hated and the most feared word, Miriam, is embarrassment and shame. So William Ruto will rather pick a chicken egg rather than an ostrich egg if he is going to fail in not getting the presidency. And what did we expect? Anyway, his teacher, his master, the person who taught him Kenyan politics was Raila Amolo Odinga. The person who introduced him to limelight was Raila Amolo Odinga. Mm-hmm. So if indeed, Miriam, there are some people whom even up to now are they have sympathy with Adolf Hitler because of being, that Führer of Germany, and yet he is someone who killed over 7 million Jews. Miriam, I'm not going to be shocked. And as the Kenyan newspaper put it, as a sinister alliance, but I don't see it as a sinister alliance, Miriam. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Kenyans have been saying it is the devil you know than the angel you don't know. So I'm not going to be shocked. Raila Odinga picking up this man called William Ruto and even giving him the prime minister's position, because for William Ruto, what he is trying to run away from is embarrassment and shame, Miriam. He's already had enough. Okay. He has betrayed the presidency. He has betrayed his office. He has betrayed the party. So he doesn't want more, Miriam. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. And also that embarrassment. I don't know if the failures that UDA faced in the recent by-elections, would that have perhaps sent him into the drawing board and, to think, he needs to re-strategize? Okay. All right. We're also tuned by Jeven Karanja. Jeven, a very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Miriam. Mm-hmm. Good morning to our viewers wherever they are watching us from. And good morning to my fellow panelists, Musa, Galma.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeven. Good morning. Okay, good morning to you. So now we were in the middle of a conversation here where Raphael Tuju had an interview with the Standard newspaper, and he said, he can. Let me just read that. Let me just quote that so that I don't misquote him. Jubilee Secretary General, who has been taking the battle to the DP, says it is all politics. It is just on BBI. He wants it another way. He wants it, and we want it another way. Will there be a reunion? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. So what he's saying, the only issue they have with the deputy president, the fallout that we saw and the acrimony in the Jubilee Party, has to do with the issue of BBI. That is the only problem. I don't know if that is the reason why he was blocked from going to the headquarters at Pangani. I mean, is Tuju being honest, or what is really happening when he issues such statement? What do you read from it?
Miriam, I read, Raphael Tuju is not being honest because the problems in Jubilee, they didn't start with the BBI. They were there even prior to 2017 general election. And I remember candidly when then Governor for Kiambu, William Kafogo, said that if President Uhuru Kenyatta should look for another running mate rather than going with the Deputy President William Ruto. And his sentiments were later echoed by COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli. Therefore, these problems of Jubilee being divided and having the URP going to support the deputy president and having the original TNA diehards supporting President Uhuru Kenyatta, they didn't came with the BBI. BBI just acted as a catalyst and accelerated the rate at which Jubilee was disintegrating. Therefore, Raphael Tuju should be honest. And we have seen in many occasions the deputy president trying to sabotage his boss. We have seen in various occasions deputy president spearheading talks that are contrary to what the president holds. And that even in the BBI, in terms of development agenda, deputy president has gone around the country criticizing the president, and to some extent saying that if he happens to become the president in 2022, he'll do more and he'll do what President Uhuru Kenyatta has failed to do as on his legacy. Therefore, there's a lot of being chaos and push and pull in Jubilee administration, and they are not about BBI, but these pulls and push were brought about by the raw ambitions of Deputy President William Ruto. Just imagine if Deputy President was silent, if just Deputy President was yes man of what President Uhuru says. If President Uhuru says there's BBI, he says yes. This country could not be having these chaos and these tensions that we are having now, because Deputy President, as being the second most powerful person in this country, he should refrain himself from trying to answer his boss or trying to go contrary to what the government holds, because he has the support, he has people who follows him. Therefore, it is quite unfortunate. But what I know, the Deputy President wants to remain in Jubilee so that he irritates the machineries, irritates the leadership of Jubilee from within. That is why he has not been keen to ensure that maybe he resigns or he goes out and concentrate on his 2022 presidential ambitions fully. He wants to remain in Jubilee so that he can disturb the right of Raphael Tuju, so that he can blackmail them, so that he can irritate them, so that they can act and impeach him. And what Deputy President wants, he wants to ride on this impeachment so that he can whip emotions and sympathy from Kenyans, so that he acts as a victim, so he acts as the son of peasant. The chief chicken seller is being intimidated by government machineries, but that is not the case. Therefore, Deputy President wants this impeachment. He will provoke them so that they prepare an impeachment motion. And he will come out here and say, I told you they used the police to intimidate us, they used the EACC, they used the DCI, and he calls DCI Wakora. Now they are using the impeachment to intimidate me. They don't want to see the son of a peasant prospering in his presidential ambitions. That is the cards that the deputy president holds, and he will continue irritating the leadership of Jubilee from within. Therefore, Raphael Tuju should not sit plenty, but he should act as the Secretary General and the neck and the executive of Jubilee Party to ensure that all these people who are misbehaving, they are disciplined to the letter and they are shown the door so that they can go out there and concentrate with their own political outfits. But they should not allow the remaining part of Jubilee, the remaining fragments that holds Jubilee together now, they should not allow anybody to come and interfere with them. Now they should be looking for coalition. They should be looking for like-minded people to come and form a post-election coalition so that they can see the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta becoming a reality. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jevin Karanja. We're also joined by Professor Jared Onyari this morning. Professor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam.
All right, Prof. So now we were looking at this story, an interview that Jubilee Secretary General Raphael Tuju had with the Standard newspaper, and he was asked if at all he sees a possible reunion with DP Ruto, and he said, yeah, there's a possibility, because the only thing we disagree with DP is the issue of BBI. That is the only issue they're not seeing eye to eye with. But we sit here and we look at these issues every day. Is Raphael Tuju being honest, or what do you think he's trying to say there?
Yeah, Miriam, to be very honest, to the question you are asking me is that in politics is the game of the possible. There's nothing which is impossible in politics, Miriam, so long as the interests converge. When the interests are not converging, Miriam, you know where we have come from. Did you ever know that the Prime Minister and the President will shake hands? Did you know that they will work together? Did you know they will call each other brother? Did you ever imagine that they will just go to inspect projects together? Did you ever have an imagination that the president will just go to Kisumu and they will feel at home more than he will feel in Kiambu? So in politics, Miriam, it's a game of possibilities, Miriam. And from where I sit, Miriam, what crime has the deputy president committed? It is simply because it is just like when the second child comes, when the first one has acted for so many years as the firstborn and the lastborn. When the other child comes, Miriam, there's this rivalry. The other child can even kill this small kid if protection is not given. So the deputy president felt that he has been shortchanged from succeeding the president. He knew when the prime minister has come in that he's going to take over and the president is going to support him. That was the point of departure, Miriam. Mm-hmm. And the point of departure with the prime minister, the deputy president, Miriam, here is focused on 2022. His eyes are on 2022. He does not see another things. So, Miriam, at the appropriate time, I know, and to be straight to your question, politics is the game of possibilities, that they can work together again.
Okay. Very well. Thank you so much. So the main headline on the Daily Nation, we were looking at the Standard newspaper, the Daily Nation there says Ruto Raila pact faces hurdles in Mount Kenya. So according to our papers, they already are in an alliance. So I don't know if we are late to the party. Consequences, even before Deputy President William Ruto and ODM leader formalized a reported alliance, leaders from the region are warning that such a deal would see the DP lose all the support he enjoys in the vote-rich area. What is this phobia of Raila and Mount Kenya region that we keep seeing in these headlines? Douglas, perhaps you'll help me understand.
Thank you, Miriam. What has happened in Mount Kenya region is that for years Raila has been demonized and everyone has been talking ill of him. And many of the leaders that have been elected in Mount Kenya region have been elected because of insulting the Honorable Raila Odinga and also telling people about how bad it is. Remember, one of the people in one of the leading leaders in Mount Kenya region told us in Meru in 2013, when we elected Raila Odinga, who was then the Prime Minister, we are going to be wearing shorts because we shall become very poor and everything is going to go to Nyanza. And that story has been entrenched into the minds of especially the older people. It is the young people that I'm seeing today embracing politics of progressiveness and also a new ideology, that the socialist kind of ideology that permits the mind of Raila Odinga. But these other people, the older generation in Mount Kenya region, and especially many supporters of Deputy President William Ruto and President Uhuru Kenyatta, do not augur well with the 8 messages that they have been fed with the time since the times of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, now to his son Raila Odinga. Mount Kenya region has been polarized against Raila Odinga, and it does not work well for him, especially when people speculate a lot of issues on Raila's presidency in Mount Kenya region. You have seen even MPs, Rigathi Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoro, Moses Kuria, who has also built a career since 2014, insulting the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and saying unprintable words against the Honorable Raila Odinga. These are people, these are representatives of the people. And it is said, Miriam, people, their leader is a reflection of who the people are. That is who the people of Mount Kenya are as far as Raila Odinga is concerned, in terms of presidency and all that. These are our people, and I want to be able to write that they have not been fed by our leaders, the 8 messages on Raila Odinga and all that. One thing we are going to experience, especially the way the newspaper has captured, is that Ruto, when he teams up with Raila Odinga, he's going to lose a huge chunk of those voters. But generally, Mount Kenya region does not vote as a bloc. They vote 60, 50, maybe 50 to 60, 70 to 50. But at the end of the day, when they vote using these parameters, the people of Mount Kenya are going to vote apathy as far as Deputy President William Ruto is concerned based on Raila's presidency. If Ruto today brings Raila in Mount Kenya and says, this is the ticket that I'm running and this will be the president, he's going to lose a huge chunk of those voters. And remember, Miriam, the people in Mount Kenya region cannot even be defined as Ruto supporters. These are people that will support you and in the last minute then they will decamp from your camp. Remember in Kirinyaga when Martha Karua was running for president in 2013, Miriam, I can tell you for a fact it is in public domain. They were telling Karua, you are our daughter, you are going to State House and all that. But when the vote came for Kirinyaga County, they gave President Uhuru Kenyatta 90% on the presidential vote, including Karua's Geshogo constituency. They embarrassed at home. And also, when you look at it from a very different perspective, Mount Kenya voters are rate voters. They vote, they wait everyone to talk and do their biting and everything. Then at night, they wake up and vote for where they want to vote. Okay. So we cannot be able to internalize that and say that William Ruto has replaced all leaders in Mount Kenya and he has become an automatic leader of the Mount Kenya people, such that during the last minute, they will turn their votes and vote for Dr. William Ruto as their next leader. Because Mount Kenya people, Miriam, when you study their voting patterns, they are going to sweet talk you. They are going to receive your funds in churches. They are going to call you everywhere. But the last minute, the people of Mount Kenya coalesce around one person and vote as a bloc or a semi-bloc. Thank you, Miriam.
Yeah, true. The voting pattern there. They have been quite very consistent, I think. Some of Deputy President William Ruto's allies in Mount Kenya region see the proposed alliance as being injurious to what they describe as impressive inroads made by the DP in the region, which has nearly 8 million voters. The former Prime Minister has tried unsuccessfully to Mount Kenya voters in past elections that have set him against presidential candidates from that region. So they're saying, should Ruto go to an alliance with the opposition leader Raila Odinga, he will lose that love and support he already has made there from Mount Kenya. Musa Abdi.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And Miriam, there is what we call pragmatic politics, and there is what we call, let's say, more of abstract politics. But Kenyan politics, Miriam, can never be pragmatic. Someone can just vote for you in Kenya simply because of two reasons, Miriam. You give them money, or you give them, you appeal to their ethnic apathy, Miriam, as Douglas has put it. The prank is not Raila Amolo Odinga planning an alliance with Deputy President William Ruto. But the joke is, where is One Kenya Alliance going? That is the joke, Miriam. We might be seeing the prank on the other side, but there is a joke coming also. And you understand, Miriam, Kenyan politics is more of let me say, frustrating, desperate moves are made in the last minute, Miriam. Up to now, Raila Amolo Odinga keeps on saying, I still wonder how Kalonzo Musyoka became the vice president at the aftermath of 2007, 2008. People got shocked. Where was Kalonzo all this time? Kibaki only picked him up at the very last minute. Miriam, as far as this is concerned, Mount Kenya, let's say in Kenyan politics, they are the ones who control. They have been controlling voting patterns since independence, Miriam. And even I was presuming, why not the death for Jomo Kenyatta, Miriam? Then I could have envisaged the presidency for this country, all of them being Kikuyu. Let us be honest, Miriam. It was only the fate which decided that Jomo Kenyatta died. And the person in line was Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, Miriam. And the latter fall into place. But even Professor Onyari remembers, I know back then he was a young man, he remembers that a lot of people really rejected Daniel Moi's candidature, were it not for constitutional and, just to stabilize everything. And even rumors had it, there was a time even Moi rejected to be in State House, Miriam. And so I know that Mount Kenyan politics, Miriam, these are people, Douglas have put it because I'm not trying to pigeonhole him, but he who understands the best, he who understands the corners of the house, is he who sweeps the house every morning. So Douglas knows this very well and how they vote. And Miriam, it is not a miracle as far as this is concerned. And we are trying to see, Miriam, these presidential candidates are not seeing one thing. And I'm predicting the presidency, not the president, the presidency, which is going to have the most difficult, uphill, tasking, desperate, frustrating responsibility ever in Kenyan's sovereign state, is going to be the president after 2022, Miriam. The presidency after 2022 is going to be tough. And it does not only need the person of character, Miriam, it needs the person who is going to be resilient and persevering. Miriam, we are talking about someone who shall be removing us from recession, someone who shall be removing us from this nose-diving economy, someone who is going to restructure on how all these parastatals, all of them are now white elephants. I'm sure President Uhuru Kenyatta now has just cleaned his hands, Miriam. He's not going to salvage Kenya Airways, I'm very sure. Kenya Power, these are people who are going to fight their war. But now the presidency we are going to have in post-2022. These guys, Miriam, they are preparing themselves for the ballot, but they are not preparing themselves for the symbol, for the coat of arms. And that is what we are speaking about, Miriam. And as far as, Gema is lacking one thing, and let me be political as far as this is concerned. Gema is lacking a unifying factor, Miriam, after Uhuru Kenyatta. Who is going to come in? They have lost the likes of John Michuki. They have lost the likes of, the other day they lost a key man. And Javan agrees with me, he was very key in Kikuyu politics, the MP for Juja. The other day, they lost MP for Kiambaa, someone who was very, very close to Uhuru Kenyatta, and as far as representing Kikuyu politics is concerned. And so, Miriam, the Kikuyus are facing the Luo syndrome. Let me call them the Luo syndrome, what Raila has been facing for the past 10 years. Not even 10 years, 20 years since the death of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and the death of Robert Ouko, and even the death of Tom Mboya. They have been having that space which has been very vacant, even so big for Raila Amolo Odinga to fill. And Miriam, Raila Amolo Odinga is trying his best, trying to consolidate these, what I will call the most learned voters in the country. Professor Onyari will agree with me, the most learned pattern of voters in the country. And so, Miriam, I don't see any alliance without Kikuyus in 2022, let me be honest. And I'm not going to see any candidate succeeding without Mount Kenya votes as far as this question is concerned. And so, just to finalize, Miriam, and to submit, is that now we are having a dilemma, Miriam. I don't know whether the individual is seated between hippopotamus jaws or the elephant's trunk here in this sense, because I will say the hippopotamus jaw here is William Ruto and the elephant's trunk are the One Kenya Alliance members, Miriam, both of which is very tough, and whoever comes out, Miriam, will come with two things. Whoever comes out to be the flag bearer for One Kenya Alliance, Miriam, the possibility of you being the deputy running mate is very high. You are going to have a bargaining chip as far as this is concerned, Miriam.
All right.
But Professor Onyari said one thing, and I submit, Miriam. Sorry for taking long. It is not as if William Ruto did a sinister stuff, I quote Professor Onyari. He was just politically misarranged as far as Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga is concerned. So I'm not going to be shocked, Miriam. William Ruto falling for prime minister position. And if indeed Miriam, his master, decides to say that I'm going to be the president, Miriam, I'm not going to be shocked. Anyway, BBI is going to be put somewhere. BBI is going to be forgotten because I will quote Miriam, it was too good. A document which was too good for Kenyan politicians. It's a document which was really very progressive, very liberal, Miriam. And so I'm just saying, even I'm afraid, Miriam, if this is going to be the way in the next 5 to 6 months, I will just pray.
Okay.
It is not going the TDRC way, Miriam. I submit.
All right. Very well. Thank you so much. Then one of them must go and run as a member of parliament, so they're able to. I don't know if Raila can do that. They're able to be the prime minister in that house. Okay. So we all know there is no way Raila can fit into our coalition unless he joins the Hustler Nation and votes for Ruto. Take it from me that DP is not interested in a coalition with Odinga, said Mathira Member of Parliament Rigathi Gachagua yesterday in a reaction to rumors of a political deal. So Nasema, the only way that can work is if Raila goes and votes for Ruto. Do you even see that as a possibility, Jevan Karanja?
Miriam, we are in a very interesting times politically, and the political shape, the political terrain is being leveled, and the best candidate will take the day. But on this issue of Raila Odinga, William Ruto, and Mount Kenya votes, now Miriam, the Mount Kenya votes, as we go to 2022, the Mount Kenya votes will remain the kingmakers in the 2022 matrix. One, because the numbers are huge, and if everything remains constant, Miriam, Mount Kenya will not be going to have a serious presidential candidate running for the top office. We might have one or two, but they will not be the people who can sway the way or change the voting patterns in this region. Therefore, an outsider, a person who is not originally from Mount Kenya region, but a Kenyan, will come and get the votes. But one thing that I will say, and I have been consistent on this, and it's an ideology we buy with Nyeri Town Member of Parliament, Ngonjiri Wambogo, is that if William Ruto and Raila Odinga forms a coalition, that means a more united Mount Kenya region. Why? People are not voting for William Ruto because he is good. People are not going for former Prime Minister Raila Odinga because he has 100% support in Mount Kenya region. They are going it for convenience because they don't have an alternative. If we happen to have an alternative voice in Mount Kenya region, like the third way, the One Kenya Alliance, like the Third Way Alliance, or any other form of alliance that will cut across between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Miriam, be assured that 80% of Mount Kenya votes will go to that direction. Number two, the voting patterns in Mount Kenya region is not determined by these members of parliament who keep making noise every day. The voting and the emotional, the weeping will come around 2022. For now, we don't know where the votes will go, but wherever they go as a block. In 2013, nobody thought that President Uhuru Kenyatta was coming to be the presidential candidate. Everybody was talking of Musalia, George Saitoti, Raila Odinga. But when Uhuru Kenyatta stepped out, then he was voted. And Miriam, on my third point, we might have, in the next 5 years, a Kikuyu as a president. Because if William Ruto joins hands with Raila Odinga, you know what happens in 2007? The emotions, Miriam, the dark moments of 2007, Miriam, will haunt that coalition to the day of voting, Miriam. And the Mount Kenya region will not be part of that coalition. They'll go for any other person. And if Western Kenya and this One Kenya Alliance, they prepare themselves well, they can get the votes in Mount Kenya region. Because when you go in, even in today, Miriam, and you ask a stand diehard of William Ruto, what if Musalia Mudavadi fights for president? They tell you, oh, he can make, they are confused to the problem. Now, what Rigathi Gachagua wants, and I tell you for a fact, they want a tussle between William Ruto and Raila Odinga so that they can divide the Mount Kenya votes. But if they join hands, Rigathi Gachagua, for the first time, we might agree, they might lose a very huge chunk that William Ruto enjoys in Mount Kenya region. Therefore, at the end of the day, a lot will change, a lot will come to play. But Miriam, for me, I don't see this coalition materializing between William Ruto and Raila Odinga because of one thing. If Raila Odinga knows very well, if they join hands with William Ruto to get the presidency, will be an uphill task. And Oburu Odinga has said, what Raila Odinga needs is not the Mount Kenya votes, it's not the Kalenjin vote. What Raila Odinga needs is the system. If we'll get the system, Miriam, then he will carry the day. Because at the end of the day, and I have listened to Jeremiah Kioni, the member of parliament this morning in another TV, and he is saying that this time round, the presidential results will be decided on a boardroom. Therefore, at the end of the day, a lot of factors will play out, and whoever the systems will favor, Miriam, will carry the day. That is the reality of our Kenyan politics. Thank you.
The presidential vote will be decided on a boardroom. I want to believe my vote counts because I vote. I want to believe that means something, Now, Ruto allies in Mount Kenya see the proposed alliance as harmful to what they say was impressive inroads by the deputy president in the region. Murang'a Senator Irungu Kang'ata, a staunch ally of the DP, says a Ruto-Raila alliance would be an almost sure ticket to State House, but expressed concerns over how Mount Kenya voters would react to such a political union. Professor, this is coming from a man who told us BBI had no chance of even passing in the counties, but even his own Murang'a County passed it unanimously. So should we take him for his words, what he's saying?
Miriam, thank you for the good question. Sometimes when I sit in the midst of young people like this, I like the way they give analysis. But I entirely sometimes agree with Karanja because Karanja speaks the truth. Douglas and Abdi tells me that they are young people, they don't have tribal. May they just go and forget that. The Kenyan politics is tribal. It is in their DNA. At the end of the day, you will just say you are not tribal, and then you will vote and you will realize you have voted a tribal king and you are suffering. So sometimes it's good to go and hang together with your brothers rather than to be hanged separate. I can tell you I come from a community where we roast a kingpin and now we don't have direction. Sometimes we are with Baba, sometimes we are with Uhuru, sometimes we don't have identity. That's what it is. And let me tell you, Miriam, I come from a community which says that, Miriam, that if you get something which is stolen, someone has gotten a hen and his daughters eat, and you happen to go and eat, Miriam, if a ritual is carried on, those people who hate that hen, all of them will die. So any story and thing we don't. But the Karancha comes from a community which believes that when an elephant dies, you don't bury it with the horns. You remove, and then you bury it. So someone is being removed the horns from the mountain, and you can know who is being removed the horns, and they will bury him. How do you bury someone with the horns, precious commodity? I hope I'm making a statement. Miriam numbers don't lie. Douglas has said that Mount Kenya region itself enjoys 8 million votes. It's a fact. Numbers don't lie. And the Nyanza and the Rift Valley combined, Miriam, and the Rift Valley, another chunk of the people from the mountains are there. It comes to 5.2. So when you say that when Papa and William combines, that it is a sure pet, you write yourself. You write yourself a complete lie. If you want to make the president of this country, Miriam, and especially when you want to face the mountain, you must have Western votes. You must have Nyanza votes. You must have Rift Valley votes. You must have Lower Eastern votes. Then the confused Kenyans, like my tribe, when they join in, then you win. So Miriam, on what I agree with the Douglas, 2022 is going to be very competitive elections, Miriam. And when people numbers are not going to be in their favor, remember the famous coining of Ngunyi Muthai. He said terrain of numbers. And when this terrain of numbers is not going to favor them, they are going to start causing chaos. And that's why we are saying, Miriam, why can't we fix the divisive election laws in this country? And the people are dying over for 2022. They are going to slaughter themselves, Miriam. Miriam, let me tell you, you will be shocked the next president will come from the mountain. He will come from Mount Kenya. Or whoever Mount Kenya decides to support. That is the reality. And I have to speak as it is. I don't want to lie. That's what it's like. People from the mountain, Miriam, have you ever found them around seated in the streets or on the road trying to talk about politics? Have you ever found these people from the mountain, Miriam, seated, young people, almost going into a fight that if Papa doesn't come and President William doesn't come? They don't
have their
talk.
say with their votes, yes.
But even the election day, Miriam, they will remove you from ICU, you want to vote. Tell me which people in this country do that way. If my people and people from Western, they support you, you are finished. They will reach you in the evening and they will abandon you. If numbers and the crowds, Miriam, were translating into votes, nobody can defeat Papa. Nobody can defeat Papa.
But Prof, you know, we've had controversial elections before, so...
No, I'm trying to, Miriam.
Yes.
Miriam, let me tell you for one. To have IPC, an electoral body, to announce you, that is a strategy. How do you arrive at the finishing line? Miriam, you want to tell me that in Kenya, that's where elections are rigged? Elections are even rigged in advanced democracies, including the United States of America. Didn't you see when Donald Trump alleging that dead people voted? So Miriam, today we are starting interviews of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya. The person who is going to be the Chief Justice, not that he qualifies, he has got this number of years or this kind of qualification.
Prof, we will look at that
you
at 11.
must be able to represent the interest of the people. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Even if Papa has been having contested elections, Miriam, let me even tell you, Miriam, and I want to demystify this. Do you know even Papa sometimes he doesn't put the agents in all the polling stations in this country? Do you know that sometimes he doesn't pay his agents? You are there for 3 days, and you can see a Jubilee person eating chips, and the cuckoo, and then you yourself, you are looking like this, and then they said, you just go and buy. When you come back, Miriam, are you going to take care of the votes? So Miriam, electoral process is a process. And that's why you can see the people from the mountain, they are cool. You can see how the Douglas and the Karanja is agreeing with me the way they are smiling, because I have spoken the truth. So if the deputy president makes a mistake, by the way, sometimes even as much as they are trying to dehone him so that they remove their arms before they bury him, he has at least enjoyed some support, which we can see, which even was threatening the president. You even saw the president going to Sagana, trying to plead with those people, and then they came back. So the worst mistake he can do is to go this way, and the people of the mountain will feel threatened, and they will go for this seat, Miriam. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. And I know our time is gone, but let me just read a story here very quickly on page 9 of the Star newspaper. Catholic bishops oppose refugee camps closure. The impending closure of Dadaab and Kakuma refugee camps and repatriation of the refugees and asylum seekers to Somalia is unwise and could be counterproductive, Catholic bishops have said. The bishops under the banner of Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops said on Sunday that closure of the camps in the midst of a vicious coronavirus pandemic would expose vulnerable women and children to suffering. The decision, they said, is also against the international law that requires refugee hosting nations to only repatriate the refugees and asylum seekers back to their countries only when the conditions have improved and they are out of danger. Poor governance in Somalia has not changed. War and violence has not abated. Famine and hunger has not subsided. Forcibly returning them violates the principle of non-refoulement, they said. So the Catholic bishops here have come out. We know that that ultimatum that Kenya gave, I think came and passed because somebody went to court and challenged that. And so I think the beginning was 30 days or something like that. And the Catholic bishops now coming out and saying this is not the way to go. I want to get your opinion, just 1 minute each. Please don't take so much time so that we're able to conclude and get ready for the next show. Douglas, I'll start with you.
William, let me give a small rejoinder on what Professor said. Professor, I have never departed from anything that you have said. The people in Mount Kenya region are political chameleons. They will support you when you want to. And I have said that clearly. Maybe you didn't hear my point. Let me make it very clear. These people in Mount Kenya, it is only in Mount Kenya region that people are paid to go and vote. Their fare is paid. People are taken from Nairobi to Murang'a, from Meru, everywhere. The fare is free during elections. If you want to go and greet your grandmother during elections and you live in Nairobi and you have mega resources, you whoop into an election campaign through train and go there. And at the end of the day, remember, even now the train goes to Nanyuki. People be whooping into the train and go and vote in Mount Kenya region. For you to stand Mount Kenya people, don't listen to what people say about Mount Kenya people. Watch what they do during the last day of the elections. In 1992, we had 2 strong Kikuyu people running for president. But do you know what they did? They voted for Matiba and they voted for Kibaki and some voted for Moi. But that is Mount Kenya for you. 1997, 2002, they voted for Uhuru and Kibaki. 2007, they decided to consolidate their votes around Kibaki. And 2013, there were more than 3 Kikuyus running for president. Remember, I'm not mentioning Kukubo Nixon Jeremiah, who does not even vote for himself during a presidential election. There are so many people and examples, Miriam. When you look at Mount Kenya, look at what they do the last day of the election. They can tell William Ruto they want. They know William Ruto comes from Sugoi. And Professor, I have never refused to be tribal. I know we belong to tribal Kakuns, and that is where we are consensusing and going home. And Mount Kenya people band together. They will die together with each other. And I have never departed from that position. What I see is that there is a young generation of young people. I'm no longer young. I'm 29 years old. There is a generation of youth who were born the other day who can maybe change things later on. But I will never vote for William Ruto because he says he has a support in Mount Kenya region. If he has no interest about Mount Kenya people, why would I vote for him? That is the true position of Mount Kenya people. Like Miriam, if we do analysis concerning the people of Mount Kenya region and we run away from the truth, this is the analysis that the people of Mount Kenya would want to hear. This is what Professor Inyamira would want to hear. This is what a friend of Professor Nkisi would want to hear, that when elections come in Kenya, people go back to their tribal and vote. You have seen people telling Raila Odinga, we are going back to Kilifi, we are going back to Mombasa, we want a course of party. People in Nyanza telling Baba, it is our time. Professor Jared Onyadi is running for governor. He knows very well he cannot take what I'm talking about to Mount Kenya, take it to Nyamira. Nyamira has a pattern of doing things. And if Professor does not go do that, he is going back to university to teach again. He knows very well. In his heart, he knows. He can pretend. But that is the true position of the Kenyan political scenario. And Mount Kenya is not different. So the people of Mount Kenya, whether they are speaking from social media, Facebook does not vote. Whether they are speaking from Twitter,
we have to
they are
end
going
now.
to do the same media.
You know, I will
Thank
not.
you.
Okay, I think the issue with the bishops, I think we'll come back to it later because our time is up. Yeah, we'll pick it from there. Let's just take a break, Professor. You'll come back for him. All right, we'll take a short break. The editor's memo will be up next, and we'll start with Prof. I'd like a rebuttal from him. Maneno Douglas amesema hapo. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Miriam Mgutu. Good morning.